Greetings. Hey, last night I was working on some things and I came across a picture of a stitch guide. And I thought, wow, so many people have been asking me lately how they can do a better blanket stitch. Trying to get the stitches even, trying to get them so they're about the same length and everything. And that gave me an idea with that stitch guide that I can make something simple that everybody could work with to help them guide with that stitch. So I sat down and made a guide and off of something that I had pictured and everything. And in the middle of the night, I came up with the idea, maybe I can make something even a little bit easier. So I'm going to give you two ideas here. This is what I came up with first. And I just sat down and I lined it up with my first stitch. And these are actually 1/8 of an inch apart. So as I went to sleep last night, I came up with, well, how about making it a little bit easier so we can get something that everybody can follow. So that's where I came up with this little simple, just out of cardstock, easy to make, and you could do it too. I just drew this 2-inch rectangular, 2-inch long by 1 inch. 2 inches by 1 inch. Show you here, nice and simple. So I got 1 inch in length there, 2 inches there. And then I made this little tab here, and I'll show you in a moment why I made that tab. And that comes out 1/8 of an inch. So I have it come out 1/8 of an inch. And then I made it so it was a 1/4 inch coming down the side there. So I'm just trying to give you directions on how you can cut out and make your own stitch guide. So after I measured a 1/4 inch, just get this off here. And the reason I use my ruler at this end is because I've used my rulers so many times at the other end that I've worn it out. So I try to use it in different places there. So I have this just a little protrusion here. Again, it's a 1/4 inch this way and 1/8 of an inch this way here. So if you're looking at your numbers here on your ruler, you're just taking it 2 spots for 1/8 of an inch. So you got the first spot that comes down a little bit. 1/4 inch is going to be halfway to the 1/2 inch. So you got 4 spots on there. Now, again, I'm going to do every 1/8 inch. 1/8 of an inch. And draw a little line. And I'm just doing this quickly here so you get an idea what we're looking at. So every 1/8 of an inch, I'm drawing a line. And this doesn't have to be 2 inches long. I just found that for around 2 inches long, it worked real well to work with the material. And the reason I did the tab on there is so I can line that up with the edge of my material. And I'm going to be actually stitching in 1/8 of an inch. So let me just grab needle and thread here and just a couple pieces of felt here and show you the blanket stitch here and also show you how I use the guide. So I start out by poking on the inside because I don't want the knot to show at the very end. We're just going to pull that right through. And then I come around top. And again, I'm using floss here, embroidery floss. Needle's a little bit thicker than a regular needle, so just a little bit. Now I have my start there. So what I'm going to do is line up my guide. I line that up with the edge of the material. And so I'm going to go in 1/8 of an inch. But this helps me so I know every time I'm going in 1/8 of an inch. Did not run through there. Let's go back and do that. There we go. So I poke it through. I'm going up 1/8 of an inch. I'm going in 1/8 of an inch. And for the blanket stitch, I'm going through my thread. Just going right through, looping it through. Do that again. So I'm able to make nice, even stitches because I have a basic stitch guide. And I've done this for years. I've done the blanket stitch for years and have never thought of doing something just so simple as this. Now, like with the hat here, it's rounded. I got these curves and everything, which are a little bit harder to work with. But what I found too is I can move my stitch guide up and along with me. So as I'm going along here and I come to an area where I'm going to be turning, I just move that up. And so I'm only using the first couple as I go. So that's why I'm saying I don't actually need all this length in here, but sometimes it's easier to hold on to with my thumb there. And I can actually just move this along as I go. So all I'm doing is lining that up. Just showing you one last time. Getting that set up with my 1/8 of an inch in. And then my 1/8 of an inch apart. Just as simple as that. I don't know why I didn't come up with this before, but for those of you who are trying to learn the blanket stitch and want to work on spacing and everything, very simple idea. And believe me, I'm going to draw that out and have that, with my material. And when I do a hat, I'm going to be using a simple little stitch guide. I hope that helps you out. Thank you.